Hello guys, and welcome back to another one with us, the Review Bros, and today we're going to be taking an honest look at the product Disorder by Faction Labs, which is their high-ish stim pre-workout. I believe they're an Aussie brand, so throw another shrimp on the barbie. But we'll be covering all of those usuals: the taste, the price, the label and the effects. Will it be the right one for you? And if you're new here, you know what to do. Tick the subscribe button, tick the bell icon, drop a like on the video and let us know your thoughts on this pre-workout and anything else you want to see us review. Okay, let's get into that first segment, taste and mixability. Some people don't think it's that important, but we like to cover it anyway, because if you're going to be taking pre-workouts more often than not, they've got to taste at least somewhat respectable, right? But we've got Pink Bits flavour, which is strawberries and cream. I've had to write down all the flavours, I'm not even kidding guys, it comes in like a dozen, and my memory is not that good. Right, so green haze, blue pearl, purple rain, red Russian, black fire, white snow, orange firm, yellow fever, pink bits, brown sugar, rainbow warrior, and my favourite, golden shower. Bit of a worry. But anyway, let's see how this one tastes. Mixability, so I've just this second stirred it up. And yeah, there are some bits settled at the bottom. It happens in most pre-workouts. However, I would say it has happened a bit more severe in this one. It looks very thick in consistency. But you know what, the label might explain that. Let's see how it tastes. Not bad, considering there's a lot of different stims in there, which we'll get into. I think it tastes good. There is a bit of a pre-workout-y taste to it, a bit of a bitterness to it, but no real chemical-y taste to it, like nothing nasty like that. It's like a sweet and soury kind of candy-esque strawberry and cream flavour, you know, it kind of gives it away on the top, I guess. But there is a candy element to it, I would say. But let's have another go. Yeah, it's enjoyable, it's unique, that's for sure. And considering we don't normally love strawberry flavours, it's not bad, it's not bad. So I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, so let's move on. Let's delve into the price. So how much is this product going to be setting you back? Well, you can pick it up for £36.85 off of the official website factionlabs.com, and if we do get any discount codes, we'll pop them in the comments, pin it and put it in the description, so keep your eyes peeled if you want one. If you translate that over, that comes to £1.47, which falls into a 5 out of 10 on our price scale, which is bang average. As you guys may or may not know, the price scale compares pre-workouts from all across the world on an even playing field, and 5 out of 10 is that bang average price. So it could go either way, and if we get a discount code, it will obviously get better, and I have put the Australian dollars on the screen for your perusal. Let's move on. Let's fly through this label then. So it is one of these, in fact I should have probably mentioned this in the price segment, but I would have flashed it on the screen anyway. It's one of these 25-50 serving tubs, but we are obviously going to go on that max 2 scoops serving that gets you to 25 servings. And first up we have L-citrulline malate. We don't know the ratio, is it 1 to 1, is it 2 to 1? If it's 1 to 1 you get 3 grams citrulline, 2 to 1 you get 4, so either way it's not too bad, but it's also not amazing. It's pretty much run of the mill, but that's that amino acid that's going to bump up nitric oxide levels, increasing blood flow and pumps. Then we've got beta-alanine at the clinical dose we look for, 3.2 grams, thumbs up, gives you the itchy tingling sensation, sense of urgency, and it's going to help with endurance when it builds up in your system. Then we move down to acetyl-L-tyrosine, 500 milligrams, kind of a low dose, we'd prefer to see 1 gram, that's that amino acid that's going to help with focus and concentration. Then we move down to anhydrous caffeine, what is this, Yoda? Anhydrous caffeine, 500 milligrams, which is definitely higher than average. Average is probably 3 to 350 at a push, 500, yeah, it's like 5 strong cups of coffee, so that's that main backbone stimulant that's going to wake you up and get you moving, so you will feel it. Then we've got alpha GPC, 240 milligrams, bit of a random dose, but it's also quite a low dose. We like to see 600 milligrams yielding 300 milligrams of actual choline, so this is definitely on the lower side. Will we feel it? We'll have to see in the effects. But similar to the L-tyrosine, it's obviously going to help with that focus and concentration, gearing up your brain. Then we've got L-theanine, that controversial ingredient, 170 milligrams, medium-y dose. You know, we've seen pre-workouts with 600, we've seen pre-workouts with 1 gram. So, you know, when you think of it that way, 170 is on more of the conservative side, but it's that amino acid responsible for anti-crash, anti-jitters, jitters. It's going to tunnel all of your focus in and smooth over any harsh stimulatory effects. We don't mind it, it just depends on the dose and the ratios and all that palaver, but let's see. Then we've got theobromine at 120 milligrams, decent dose. That's that stimulant in chocolate the dogs cannot digest. It's going to give it a bit of energy, a bit of mood elevation, improved blood flow. And then we move down to another bit of a controversial ingredient in the form of an amino acid called L-norvaline, 100 milligrams. And the reason I say controversial is because there are some studies linking it to brain degradation, you know, like destroying brain cells is a bit of a worry. So you have to make up your own mind on that one. But either way, it's going to help improve pumps because it is an arginase inhibitor, which means it's going to allow your pumps and that NO production to stick around for longer. So it's nice. It is a nice ingredient from a pump standpoint. It just depends if you want to take the risk or not. And 100 milligrams is on the higher end of dosing. It's not too bad. You normally, from what we remember, it's normally only see about 50. Then we move down to vitamin C, and we've got some vitamin B12 down the bottom there. Just going to round those into one because it's just general bodily function, general health, tissue repair, function type shizzle. Then we got hordenine and synephrine at 40 milligrams and 30 milligrams respectively, which are both fat burning type ingredients. Hordenine also has some benefits with the brain. It's going to help to improve that mood elevation, help you stay more focused and happy for longer, is basically it in a nutshell. So they are on the more conservative side of dosing, so how much they'll slap you we'll have to see. And then we've got the one that I cannot actually pronounce, but I believe that's a silent P. So it's pterostilbene, 20 milligrams. I think we've seen that once before in Bradley Martin's Spree because we creased up about how weird it is and how we've never seen it before and how we can't pronounce it. But that is basically just a simple one. It's an antioxidant, an anti-inflammation type ingredient, just a healthy ingredient, nothing super specific to a pre-workout in the sense of getting you geared up to train. But yeah, we'll take it. Then we've got piperine extract, 8 milligrams, which is black pepper. 8 milligrams is a bit higher than normal. Normally only see 5, bit of a random dose, but we'll take it anyway. And it's going to help with absorption and uptake of all these ingredients. Already touched on the vitamin B12, so that does sum up the label. Let us know what you think down below. It's quite a unique one, I will definitely give them that. Obviously, not delving into the pump element too much, it's more of a stimmy, focusy kind of package. A little bit underdosed here and there, but let's see how it comes together. Okay, let's talk effects with disorder pre-workout. In the few times myself and Aaron have used it since receiving it. Well, let's get straight to the action really. So beta-alanine is the first thing that kicks in, and it does kick in firstly in here. Surprise, surprise. After about 20 minutes it does come in, but it comes into a medium-y degree, 6, 7 out of 10 on the tingle scale, nothing extreme, nothing weak either, which is good because it sets the tone for that sense of urgency, wanting to get moving. And then shortly after that comes in that 500 milligrams of caffeine. You definitely feel it hit you, you definitely feel a sudden urge to want to get moving and very much alert. So if you're tired, you won't be tired anymore after about half an hour after you've taken this. But what I will say is that caffeine rush, that caffeine slap is kind of short-lived because I do think that L-theanine does come in shortly after and say, whoa, caffeine, hold your horses. And it feels more like a 350 to 400 milligrams level of caffeine rather than 500 because of that L-theanine tapering, which could be a positive or a negative depending on what you're after. If you like that stimmy, jittery almost, can't sit still feeling, then you'll be a bit upset about the L-theanine. But if you like that caffeine to be tapered in, tunneled into more of a productive focus, almost calm, level-headed feeling, then you probably will appreciate the L-theanine in here. So obviously that's what they've gone for in this one rather than blowing your tits off. So the energy actually ends up being quite smooth and consistent and lasts about 3 or 4 hours and then it tapers off. I wouldn't say there's any crash, which is quite surprising because that is a large amount of caffeine, but I do think the L-theanine does its job to a certain degree in bringing it down nicely on the other end. So no crash, about 3 hours worth of energy, a smooth-ish ride. It doesn't blow your head off, it's also not weak. So it's right in the middle there. Daily driver-y energy feels, which I wouldn't really call it a daily driver because that 500 caffeine, who wants to be taking half a gram of caffeine on a daily basis, baby please, probably not many people. But in terms of how it feels, because of that L-theanine, it feels daily driver-y, okay? So just take that with a pinch of salt. I'd probably use it 3 or 4 times a week based on that stimulatory power. Now let's talk about focus, one of the other 3 elements, main elements we look for in a pre-workout. And it was okay, I do think that the L-theanine tunnels that caffeine in nicely, so it's more of a productive feel rather than a jittery one. There's not too much in it for focus in terms of large doses of things. Obviously you've got alpha GPC and L-theanine in there, but they're in there at small doses. Let's just be honest about it, shall we? So they're not much of a needle mover in this scenario. I'd like to see a lot of these dosages in here, apart from the caffeine, doubled or tripled, and then I really think it would, come together Lovely. So the focus isn't anything to write home about. I would say it's around about the same as the energy, which I would say is above average, but also not incredible, because it is riding on that backbone of the caffeine mainly, with the L-theanine slowing it down. So I would say that energy and focus comes into around a 7.5 out of 10. So good, right? It's not bad, it's above average, but it's not amazing either. So it's okay, gets the job done, certainly. And the third element we talk about with pre-workouts is pump. And let's be honest, guys, all that's in here for pump is the L-citrulline at 3 or 4 grams, we don't know. And I think personally they've put it in there just to help with a bit of blood flow and pushing things around the body rather than to get you pumped off your brain. And it's not claiming pumps anywhere on the tub from what I can see. So there is no wrongdoing with misadvertising saying, you know, this is going to get you pumped off your tits. And then in reality it doesn't. So it is obviously more of a stimmy type pre-workout. You know, there's no two ways about it. So pumps, like 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10 if we're going by the label. But I do think you get pumped from the work ethic alone. That nice smooth amount of focus and energy just gets you training in a healthy kind of way, which sounds funny to say when we're talking half a gram of caffeine, but I've already said it a million times, the L-theanine does do its job. So yeah, pumps below average, 2, 3 out of 10, energy focus, respectable 7.5 out of 10 a piece. There are also no negatives, so you know, you won't be jittering off your chops, you won't be missing meals because you've got appetite suppression, you won't be excessively thirsty. It won't keep you up at night if you don't take the piss and take it too close to bedtime. I mean, like if you take it with a 6-hour gap, you'll be okay. Obviously, like take that with a pinch of salt as well. Everyone's tolerance is different, but it's not one of those ones where you'll be laying in bed like wired off your brain, because like I said, the caffeine is the only real stimulant in here. So as long as you use common sense, you'll be fine. So, right, let's just delve into it. Who would I recommend it to? I would recommend it to intermediate people, people that want stims and no pumps, you know, like weightlifters, powerlifters, strongmen, that type of thing, that don't want to get a pump, that will potentially hinder their training. Too strong for beginners based on purely that caffeine. So if you do want to try it, maybe start with half a scoop and work your way up. Stim junkies, I wouldn't say it ticks the box for you unless you're really caffeine sensitive and L-theanine doesn't really hold you back. But yeah, it's not a stim junkie experience, you know, you're not like, woo, it's quite, like I said, daily drivery feel. So yeah, I mean, I think I've covered every aspect of it, and now I will give you an overall score, and I think I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 overall, because like I said, there are no negatives, which is always a thumbs up with pre-workouts, right? We want to be knowing that we can take these and not feel like poo-poo. So yeah, if that sounds right for you, do check it out. We want to know your thoughts down below as always. You know, what do you think of it? Would you pick it up? What do you think of other products by Faction Labs? All of the usuals, and as always, stay stimmed.